ahead and get started. It is Tuesday, April 29th. It's Marketing with Melissa. Today was going to just be kind of questions and answers, open forum, what you guys got going, what you guys need help with. So whatever you have, shoot it at me.
Okay, so where did the magic eraser? Where was that?
What was what?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you were kind of cutting out.
Okay, where is the magic eraser?
Cutting out again. You saying magic eraser?
Yeah, let me go get my headset. Hold on. Cannot hear.
Okay, is that better? Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. It's much better.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, where is the magic eraser that you showed us last week or the week before? I don't remember.
Hang on a minute. Okay, so when you click on the picture, then you're going to go to edit, Magic Studio, and there's your magic eraser. And then from there, you literally just take it out. Choose for this general gesture. Fix that, like if you were to take something out of a picture like that, what I would back, take that over, click on it again, go back to edit, and they expand. messages. No, I haven't messed a whole lot with the expand portion of it. So it should just pull that over and kind of take out some. But at least that way you can take it. So then Dad's out of the picture. That's where you're gonna find it. Just remember, you have to click on the photo itself and go to edit. And then all your Magic Studio stuff will be right here on the left column. Different filters and stuff, you can kind of play around with those too.
If we use the, where's it, the Magic Media? Hold on, let me make sure. Where you go create the images, oh, Dreamlab. So if we use that and we get an image and we download it, and then it'll say like edit and design, but it doesn't actually let you edit it. Or am I doing something wrong?
How are you, what kind of image are you working with?
Let's just say like I did one and I wanted to take it repeated the word. So I wanted to take one of the repeated words off, the text off of the image, off of the picture. But it literally, all it'll do is change the color on some of it for your brand, but it won't actually it'll let me type on the picture to add words, but it won't let me like take off the text or anything else. It won't let me like remove it or take off the additional word. And all I did was I went to like Dreamlab and put it in there and generated a photo and then, and then got it or downloaded it and then said edit in design. And when it went into design, it just wouldn't let me, remove the word or edit the actual picture itself.
It's a, they are. So we take that one off, pick up this advertisement. Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, the image that you have already has wording on it, correct?
Right. I went to Dream Lab and I said, generate me an image that represents this, and this, or whatever. And it did it. So it already has like this, like it already has some wording, some letters, some pictures, some images, and then you can download it. And then it also says edit in design, and it'll open it up in design, but it won't let me, like, say I wanted to take the word smile off. It wouldn't let me take the word smile off, but it let me add a word. And then it had like this little circle looking thing at the top that I wanted to take off and put my logo. It'll let me put my logo over it, but it wouldn't let me take that off.
Okay, so what I would suggest trying with it then, see if I make this a little bigger so you guys can see, is you click on the folder, photo, go to this, Magic Studio, try grab text. So it's going to give me all the text boxes I can grab. Now, granted, if you want to take off smile, but you wanted to leave the other, you're probably going to have to retype it. But what that'll do is it'll take that word out, literally drag it over there and throw it away.
Okay.
That is one way. You got to remember, Magic Grab itself is for images, and Magic Text is for specific text. Say I want this one. Just grab it and throw it away. So I would try that, Regina, and see if that works for you. Like I said, if it's one word in a sentence, you may have to grab the whole sentence and take it off and then retype the sentence back into your English. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I have a thing that I'm working on. I'm mailing out 265 letters from a doctor's office, and I'm gonna include a little like card inside there telling them about the Medicare 101s that are coming up. So I know you had said last week you can take a flyer that you're doing and resize it to like a smaller thing. Can you do like a business card? And if so, like if what if I want to do one event on one side and one event on the other because they're in two different areas? Can I make it to where when I download it, like it will go front and back? Does that make sense?
The only way you're gonna download it, where it'll do it as 1 and 2 pages. When you go to print it, if you Vistaprint, just put it on back and front.
Okay.
Remember how to change it up.
Yeah, copy it and then resize it.
Copy and resize, and for anyone that wasn't here for that, it's just up here. Size it as um, and we want to make this a postcard. I always say copy and resize until you know how it's going to turn out.
Okay, Melissa, when you're like done showing us what you're talking about now or whatever, can you show me how to make like if it can be done like an interactive like poll or like type quiz that you could post like I don't know, if you just said what's your favorite ice cream and you list some and they can check it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like a poll or a quiz type thing. Do you make that in here?
Well, the question there is going to, um, normally ChatGPT is not to do that. Not ChatGPT, Canva. My question is going to,
Are we only talking about Canva on here today? I don't want to like go off of a topic.
no, you can ask me whatever. I mean, I constantly incorporate ChatGPT.
Okay, I use ChatGPT too, but what I want to do, which I'm gonna search some YouTube videos, I don't know, because I ain't figured it out yet, I know we can put connect jot form into here, right? And I want to create an RSVP. So when I invite people to like whether I do it on Facebook or wherever, they can scan a QR code and go to that form and RSVP and it comes, but I haven't quite figured out how to. I don't know if I just do it in jot form, which I ain't figured out how to quite master. I ain't mastered it yet. Or do I move it to here or do it here and move it there? But I want the response to come back to my jot form.
Yeah, it'll come back to your job form. Hold a second. I'll show you, give you an idea of how I ended up doing dogs application. Because my dogs, to apply for a puppy actually is in job forms and goes back to job forms. So right now it's not looking like it has a, it's probably there. What I would do, Regina, on a poll or something like that, is if you have ChatGPT, I would ask it to do.
But how could Chat GPT make it interactive? Do you remember during certification time when Rebecca posted or whoever posted what certifications have you done so far? And then she listed all of them.
She
And
does that
like
in Facebook.
she did that in Facebook. Okay.
You can do polls and stuff in Facebook.
Okay.
So
But the jot form, I can do however it's incorporated, it'll go back to my jot form for responses, right? Because like I made in jot form last year, I made a scope of appointment and I made the app and I had it on my phone so I could just do it whenever and wherever. And I could send it to them and they would fill it out and it would go directly to my jot form. And I had all the submissions in there where they signed it and everything. So if I did a RSVP, the RSVP is going to do the same thing. Is that correct?
yeah, the RSVP, you have to link it back to your job form.
Okay.
Like, at the end, form in Facebook to do. And it would go back to the Google form. It's basically the same way that it does it with
Mhm.
job forms. Let me go home. You know how when you created the job form itself and like with our scopes and stuff like that, Regina, how you got the link that you would send to the client?
Yeah, I did that all from Jotform alone. But you know how now it says you can connect your Canva to your Jotform, like I guess for designs or whatever.
So it would be bad chickens. Okay.
Because what I really want to do is make a RSVP that I can have a QR code on whatever I send out, mailer, any board that I posted on or whatever platform can be a QR code so they can click on that RSVP and it goes directly to my job form. So I'll know who is, get the RSVPs.
Regina, I'm using Eventbrite right now. That doesn't link to my job form or anything, but it will store their information and you can request like what information you want them to share or when you want, yeah, them to share with you. And
Yeah,
I'm using it as a QR code.
I looked at Eventbrite, but there's also some other ones like Patch.com, Nextdoor. There's like multiple ones that don't have those. So I want to be able to have the ability to put it anywhere. And like when I did my scope of appointment last year, Jotform lets you create an app and you put it on your phone and it goes on your phone and you like just click on it and it had my entire scope of appointment. So even if I'm standing right there in front of you, we can fill it out right there, or I can text it to you or email it to you. And it's accessible to me at any point in time right from my phone. Now I don't want my RSVP on there. I just want it, no matter where I put it, I want it to go into my job form because I don't plan on just putting it on one platform. I'm gonna do multiple.
Okay. So the way I ended up doing it, and this is basically just, it's a website made through Canva, but this is my actual job form here. So all of my little things here, the minute they fill this out, it actually goes back to my job form itself. And all the information's in my job form. So their whole application is written in there. And all I did was, when I got here, I wrote what I wanted to write here. And down here, of course, now that it's done, it's so. Okay, so say you're doing like a postcard for, but you want to have your Q code, or obviously on the postcard it's going to be Q. So you would make your Q code.
How long do Q codes last, Melissa? Does it, as long as that particular link is still valid, the QR code will work?
Yeah, it should.
Okay. Because now Google, like if you're on a page, like say I'm on my website or wherever, it literally, if you just right click on it, it says make a QR code for this page and it gives you a QR code.
Yeah,
So I was just want to make sure, just curious, like, as long as the page is still valid, it will go there, right?
yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously Q code is gonna be a Q code. All they gotta do is scan it and it's gonna go. But say I had something else on here, if I need to slow down, guys, tell me to slow down. I'll just, um,
Okay.
so if you have it's any object, basically. So say if on your postcard, okay, so basically they want to know more about Medicare, click here on the button. So what you do is you right click on that button and you link it. What you're going to link it to is whatever your job form is or whatever your website is.
Wait, so when you put that there and they click it, and what did you do? Did you right click? Oh, you went up there to that little,
Yeah, well, I right clicked on it. Yeah, when you get the object, you right click on it and
oh, and then edit link.
yeah. So then if it's an actual like when it's actually live, because right now it's still, in creation.
Mm-hmm.
When it's live, you'll be able to click on it and it's going to go where it's supposed to go.
Okay.
Now, sometimes like little still images and stuff, you're better off doing the Q codes with those. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing a landing page, these are pretty handy.
I like that.
So what are the landing pages for exactly? Now that you brought that up.
Landing pages, to me, in my opinion, the way I use them is um, say you're having a seminar. So even though technically it's going to be keep in mind I have change this to like, don't freak out that it says website when you only use it for. If you want to do a website, you can do it down here that way. But if you're just doing like a seminar, what you do is instead of cluttering up your
So a landing page is just a one page thing, right?
yeah, basically it's like a one-page thing, and it puts a lot of information on a page to where, could you imagine what your website looked like if every single seminar flyer that you did was put on your website?
Oh gosh, no.
Exactly. That's what landing pages are for. So you would build this landing page out, but in the meantime, on this Connect Us, you would
So it's like if you plan an event with speakers and then you connect the page to the speakers like bios and stuff. Is that kind of like that?
exactly. It's kind of like that, but
Okay.
like, say if this whole thing talked about, hey, Medicare 101, all the information was where it's at, RSVP on our website, yada, yada, yada. The RSVP would be where the contact us is, and you would link it like I just showed you on the other page. You would link it back to your website, because what you guys want to do, and this is one thing that I'm trying to even get us to do, because we're really bad about not doing it ourselves. The website, like, I don't control the website, someone else does. And I'm good with it on one hand, I'm not on the other. And the reason being is because all of the stuff that we do, all these community things that we participate in, I could build landing page after landing page. What I want to do is direct every single backup bit of it back to our website for information. Sponsored by Cannonball Insurance Solutions. For more information, back to our website, and you click on that and it takes you back to the website. So that drives traffic all through your website. It gives them the information of the event without it cluttering up your website.
So
But
this
then it
is,
also,
I'm sorry, Melissa.
oh, go
I'm
ahead.
trying to get a grasp. So this is kind of like a digital flyer,
Yes,
kinda. So like
in a
we
way.
could build it in a way. So if I built a landing page for say an event, a Medicare 101 seminar or whatever, right? And I build it and I put whatever I put on there and I put the connect to us. Well, I want them to RSVP, but let's just say I'm like building just something to promote myself or whatever, like AEP is coming up, blah, 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 blah. And then you put want to learn more, click here. And then that takes me to my actual quote unquote website or wherever you want it to go to.
Yes. Like, you can want to know more about Medicare here. You can click this that would actually go to your job form to sign them up. If that's the way, you might change the wording, because they might click there thinking they're going to find out more about Medicare right then and there instead of having to go to the event. And then somewhere else on the thing, say, do you want a one-on-one, complimentary consultation? Scan here, or you can even do another click button, be like, click here to RSVP, click here for your
Oh,
one-on-one
so there could be
consultation.
multiple click buttons. So let's say
Multiple
that
click buttons, as long as you connect them differently. As
If
long
I
as you're,
different links.
yes.
So let's say that I built one and I talked about Medicare or whatever, right? And I said, because on my website there's something I like to do. Let's just say I say you want to know are you turning 65 and you need to know how to sign up for, do you have questions about signing up for your Medicare? So Plan Enroll has a lot of videos. So I could get that link where they could click that and it could take them to inside my Plan Enroll where they could watch that video in the learning center and then hopefully they'll click all around.
Yes.
And then another one would say something about if you have Medicare questions about, say, the difference between Medicare Supplement and Medicare Advantage, click here and it could take them to my website. And then I could have
Yes.
one that said, or come see me in person at an event and put that and click the RSVP.
Yeah.
They're going to create a monster.
Yeah, if you do come see me at an event and you have multiple events though, what you want to do is that link wants to be some type of link to a calendar that shows your multiple events versus
So
one event in particular, unless you are looking specifically to get your RSVPs for one event.
One event.
If you're running 3 or 4 events next month and
Uh-huh.
already putting stuff out there for all of them, I would send the calendar link.
So I could
And
create a calendar in Boss. And like I have the one, I have a calendar in Boss, but it goes to just like a client thing. So I could create another calendar event to go to where I have the list of the dates that I have events.
possibly.
Like I have two
keep in mind,
calendars.
keep in mind, I haven't been turned loose in the marketing side of Boss yet.
Well, Dolores showed me this stuff, and actually, I still use some of it. Well, I use it all that he showed me, should I say?
Yeah.
So I have 2 calendars that are built in there already. One is like if an agent has a question or something like that, and then another one is a client meeting one-on-one, and the link I can get the link and it takes it to that calendar. So I could create a new calendar with my events of the dates and locations, and they could choose which one and it would do that calendar. So, okay.
Yeah, it should connect as long as the dots connect and it has a place to land in the
Go.
end with their RSVPs.
And then in the calendar, oh my God, the calendar thing would do the RSVP. So that would be they would fill it out to be on the RSVP list. So the calendar would kind of be like the RSVP.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if for some reason you were to hit a snag with that, then you would just put this event, this event, this event, and this event, click which one, and each one have the link clicked to the job form for the RSVP if you have to go that route. There's always a workaround.
Oh, because I could make
you
a
have to use it that
calendar,
way.
and let's just say I had Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. I could make RSVPs I could do the RSVP in job form, and that link could take it to that job form and it'll put it in there.
Mhm.
Girl, that's some clicking maniacs.
Like I said, they haven't turned me loose because they're just trying to like get Boss with the client and the agent's side, like all the kinks and stuff out of it first. Because they know when they turn me loose in there, I'm gonna be drip mail campaigning it left and right.
Girl,
I'm gonna be
I
doing all
use it.
kinds of.
So I had him help me set up the one workflow for my email campaigns. I use it all the time. I just used it yesterday. He set me up with the content calendar, and I use that. And then the calendars. And then I use that. And so the things that he showed me, I use.
Yeah. Yeah, now I go crazy with the drip campaigns, to be honest. Like I'm frustrated right now because I'm not in there and some are already started, especially when it comes to, I mean, we're getting new clients daily. My drip campaigns should hit the minute one is sold and be the thank you letter. And then remind them, 2 weeks later, have you gotten your cards yet? If not, give us a call. 2 weeks after that, hey, just checking to see how your plan is going. I'm working on kind of like a health navigator type deal for our sales force that a lot of agents, whether it's, the circumstances, you're in a hurry, you have an appointment waiting, stuff like that. To me, there's certain things that you ask a client that help you make the right sale or the right choices for them. Like, you're not going to sit down with every client and automatically think, okay, do you have cancer in your family? Do you have any heart attack, stroke? Which side of the family is it on? Blah, blah, blah. So I have like this whole little sheet I'm building out. Anybody diabetic, stuff like that. Do you have life insurance? What type of life insurance? What does it cover? So that even if we just sell them health insurance at that moment, we have their whole basic little history to know that Jan next year plans on getting major dental work. So I'm going to give her a few months to kind of get over the initial, hey, I have insurance with this now. I'm going to see, how it pays out and this and that before we start hitting her with the drip campaigns of, if you're going to have major dental work, you might need additional dental coverage. Let's get you a standalone plan as a backup, and start bundling some of that stuff. I know just talking with our agents here, everybody just wants to bundle, like bundle the first sale. But that's great, except you have those clients that if you try to push that bundling, they start feeling like you're a used car salesman.
Well, those people, I came from somewhere where basically, let's just say I learned the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay.
Yeah,
I have a very good degree in all of it. And a lot of times when you bundle them like that, they are doing it on emotions and not logic. So after they go back and think about it, they cancel anyway.
exactly. So it does not matter if you sell them that Manhattan Life Plan or whatever that day, a month or two down the line, they drop it because they don't think they need it. Either it wasn't properly explained or they were not given the value of it in the long-term run. So that's why I'm trying to set up this to where our agents know what they need. They might not need it right now, but we know what they're going to need in the future. So therefore we can tailor our drip campaigns towards those things in the future.
Okay, I have to
try to
learn
get
how to I have to learn how to do a drip campaign because yeah, I just mainly go in there and make
So
my
Regina, once you start drip campaigning, it's
I
especially,
literally go in there and manually make my email and everything. I mean, when we did it, he
yeah,
probably was ready to choke me because I kept him on the phone for like 3 hours, but I refused to let him get off until I knew how to do what I was doing. And so we did the template, we did my email signature and everything. So I just go in on my template and I just literally change the the body of the email and then send it out.
yeah. Well, the other thing that I can't wait to get started too, because you're in the boss system, so you're familiar with it, is the tags and everything. If there has been no communication, I mean, and
I will
I harp at our staff, hey, you guys better be putting notes in here because when I get turned loose on this thing, If there is no communication, no notes made, it doesn't look like there's been any contact, guess what? They're gonna start getting hit up. And if they start calling in going, hey, I just spoke to someone last week, like, I'm
I
gonna
will
come
say
at you.
that I like, I use, I like the tags. I use the tags as well because I want to have the birthdays and stuff, you know. But I really like the smart list where you
Do the smart,
can,
yeah, smart
so
list for
you can
birthdays.
filter them for birthdays and you can filter them by tags. And anyway, this is not even having anything to do with Canva, girl. Because once I start talking, I just get to going because there's still so much in there that I don't know how to do because DeLawrence, you know, departed or whatever. And so now I just kind of go in and watch Darrell's trainings and tech tips and stuff like that and just try to muddle my way through it.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I don't know why Rebecca put on the marketing training with me is strictly Canva, because like Candace and Christy and them know, I have went to hyperspace. I've went to Chat GPT. I mean, I go to all the different programs. I'm kind of the guinea pig. I'll go try a program out, and if I like it, then I tell you guys about it. So there's two that I'm trying right now. One of them is Deal AI, completely overwhelming. It's taken me a minute. Like, I didn't even know where to start. And literally there's a little start here button in the corner because all the rest of it is just app after app after app after app. And it's got a content creator and AI built in and a thing like Synthesia built in. And it's crazy. And right now I'm just hooked on the hooks. It's got a hooks that you put your email tagline in, and it's going to give you all these better taglines and the ratings for them as to whether or not they have a better rating that someone would actually open your email or if they're going to pass it by. It like gives you the SEO on your taglines. So I'm kind of in that right now. The other program I'm in is Blaze. You guys have probably seen that on Facebook because they're advertising it heavily on Facebook. So I'm jumping back and forth between Blaze and Deal AI and trying to decide which one might be a better fit, you know, for someone that says, hey, I want something a little more technical than Canva. So Rebecca allows me to do so. So I try to check all this stuff out to see which one's going to be a better fit for certain people that just need more than what Canva can give.
I looked at Blaze before and kind of did the trial, but it is confusing. Like
Girl, I just
it's
did 2 months worth of social media work on mine and I didn't even know what I did.
that's what I'm talking about. Like
I
I'm
clicked a
like,
few, I gave it a subject and clicked a few buttons. The next thing I know, I had like 45 days worth of stuff and I'm looking at it and I'm
yes,
going, oh, okay.
it's most definitely different and takes a
Yeah.
little use to get into, but I didn't keep on with it because I didn't have time to put into it and I didn't have time to go do trainings here and there everywhere. But I am learning, I'm doing this thing, watching these I don't know what you call them, little trainings that these people do, how to talk to actually chat GPT the correct way
Yeah.
to get more out of it. And so I did one the other day and I created a content calendar table for like a whole month with like 3 different columns that that goes off of building how to market and all this other stuff like webinars, tips, hacks, myths, facts, educational. Like it did it in like 45 seconds.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I'm in the same, a couple different things on how to talk to it. I'm a lot into the how to talk to it to get the appropriate images and stuff. There's a couple of groups on Facebook, and I'm in one of the beginner groups, and the guy the admin on it just laughs. He's like, "You're not a beginner anymore," and I'm like, "I still feel like a beginner."
I was like, oh, that's how you talk? Like, that's what you're supposed to say? And then it says how you can take that and what you're supposed to say to it to actually create the actual post for that, for what you're trying to do. And
Yes.
so I was like, yeah, so I'm trying to learn how to talk to it, but there's so much out here to like have to try to learn. It's like I need like 40, 72 hours in one day.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, I can't stress enough that we've got to learn how to talk to it to get what we want out of it.
You do,
Um,
because what I got when I talked to it that way was totally different than what I got when I was just talking to it.
exactly.
Like not saying the right words to it. So I have a lot
Yep.
to learn, but I got a lot of ideas, so I have to learn it so I can put them all together.
Yeah. Yeah. But a lot of that, like I said, a lot of these things interact with each other. So, I mean, we may talk about Canva half the time, but a lot of the stuff going in behind Canva, where the
It's coming
information or
from
the
the other
ideas
places.
is coming from the other places, is coming from Chat GPT. I just had it do our entire marketing plan for T65s this year. Like I just sat over there and typed it out. I was like, okay, I want to hit this county, this county, this county, this county. You know, basically run the stats, tell me the numbers of those turning T65, and blah, 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 blah. And next thing I know, it spits out the whole plan and everything. And now I'm stamping like 15,000 T64 postcards next week. And I'm like, sometimes I think, oh God, I bit off more than I can chew.
Mm.
Wow, that's
But
crazy.
yeah, yeah, it never fails to surprise me. You know, just when I think I get it figured out, I realize I really still have a lot to learn. So, but that's why I'm constantly in it, um, trying to get a better grasp so that I can go, hey guys, look at this. This is cool. This is going to help you guys in agents. You guys
Well,
don't have the time I do to be in
yeah.
all this stuff all the time. You guys still have to sell.
Mm-hmm. And you
So
know
to
that
me,
Ask Rebecca bot,
uh-huh,
I know this is not what it's used for, but you know, she was saying play with it, whatever, you know.
I mess
Um,
with it.
I do too. Well, look, girl, I had a flat tire the other night at like 1 in the morning. And so there's a 24-hour tire shop not far from me. And
Uh-huh.
all the guys there speak Spanish. So I used the Rebecca bot to translate the
That's
conversation.
awesome.
I'm like, I hope they don't start talking about tires and stuff when somebody goes in here.
Yeah. Well, I just realized too, and it's funny because I'm techie, non-techie. I never realized I have a Samsung phone, and one of our agents is like, dude, you have, and it won't do it because of the blur screen, but it has interpreter on the pull down menu on my phone. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm like trying to chat GPT it and everything else on, asking what are they saying and everything. She's like, no, there's an interpreter right on your phone. And I was like, oh, well,
Oh,
that's,
that's funny.
yeah, never knew it was there because it's on the pull down menu. And the only thing I ever use the pull down menu for is to either change Wi-Fi, put my Bluetooth on, or put it on do not disturb. Because unlike Rebecca, come 10 o'clock at night until 6 in the morning, my phone is on do not disturb except for my children and my mother. They can call through. So, and that's the other thing I encourage. I know a lot A lot of
Yep.
sales agents are like 24/7. I'm like, no, dude, you guys take a break.
No,
You
I'm
can't
the
be
same way.
so obsessed with it that you can't have a break.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as your projects come up and stuff like that, I'm here if you guys need help with stuff. Um, and like I said, as I'm moving through these new programs coming out and everything, I'll let you know if I find anything cool that, that might work for y'all. I'm kind of a little bit getting pulled away from it because I'm kind of helping with sales and stuff right now. My biggest thing is there's never a no, there's a not right now. So I'm using not only ChatGPT and Canva and marketing and stuff for that. I'm trying to navigate my way around there and help the sales team know different avenues, different questions to at least keep their foot in the door instead of someone saying, I don't need insurance. Okay, I can take right now, just don't tell me no. You know, when they say, oh, I'm too healthy. I don't need insurance, I'm healthy, I never go to the doctor. Well, that's great, except like what activities do you do? Do you hike? Do you skydive?
Well, y'all can use this as a real live story. I have quite a few, and I use them when I talk to people. So, you know, Jen, you're familiar with Jen, uh, from Tom's office, Jen Price. You've probably heard of her name. Anyway, recently, just like a few days ago, her middle daughter and her oldest daughter were playing on the couch, and one of them is like 3 and the other one's like 19 months. Anyway, fell off the couch or whatever, and the middle daughter hurt her leg. So they go to the emergency room and it's fractured, broke, whatever, right? So they give her like an ace bandage her up and stuff, and they send her to an orthopedic doctor. And so they have to find the orthopedic doctor, and then they don't even do a cast. It's a very, very, very common break for kids. But they have to do like a boot, and the boot is like really little. It still falls off of her. So people who always talk about, a friend of mine, her mom is on Medicare, and she has always been healthy. She doesn't go to the doctor. She doesn't do this. She doesn't do that. Right. So I was never her agent, but she called me and said, hey, I need you to look at this because it just seems like we're spending too much money, yada, yada, yada. Because now, today, her mama has cancer and breast cancer, lung cancer, etc. There's a medication she needs that's a tier 5. That's like, anyway, crazy amount of money. But so I look at the plan and I tell her, I was like, why would your mom change from last year? Because you're paying double. Your mom moved to some plan that is double. Like, you don't know. She's never like, I mean, when I say she doesn't go to the doctor, it's not that she didn't go to the doctor, but she was never sick. But now she has breast cancer and lung cancer, and it's gotten into her brain, and now she needs all these things. We don't
And
have
usually the people like that have a history of it somewhere, which is the whole reason that not them particularly, but it runs in the generational family.
I always ask them about car insurance. When they tell me they don't need insurance because they're not sick, I said, well, what about car insurance? Do you have car insurance? And they say, well, yeah, I have car insurance. And I say, well, do you have wrecks every day? And they're like, no, I don't have a wreck every day. And I say, well, if you did have a wreck, your car insurance would cover it, right? Yes. If you were injured in that wreck, who's going to cover that medical bill?
Exactly.
So, like, that's just their automatic response to try to be sold something.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to teach, our staff to get around just dead no's and be like, okay, well, if we know your history, know what you actually need versus what you think you need. And then we can explain it better. We can tell them how they need it and why they need it, and they can make a more informed choice that way. So, and it's just like you said, I mean, there's stuff that people don't realize that they really need, like life insurance. I think I had life insurance before I was 40 years old. No, I thought it was an old people thing, just like most people do these days.
You
Guess what? I
what?
bet that 44-year-old vet that they found in Lake Mead didn't think that,
Right.
you know?
And you know what? A lot of people say that, and I'm not gonna mention like because I don't want to offend anybody, but there is a certain group of people that they get life insurance the day that their child is born, and they put it on them, the kind they get that accumulates money. And when their child turns 18, they cash it in and give it to them to start their life.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the ones in their 20s coming out of college and stuff. I'm like, guys, it's cheaper for you at that age anyhow. And later on in life, you can borrow against it if it's the right type.
Well, they don't ever understand those things until something happens and somebody tells them what they had to do.
Well, exactly. But I mean, in my 30s, I was like, I'm going to live till I'm 80 or 90.
Well, I was doing
Um,
Uber the other night and I was about to try to sell these two girls life insurance because they had to be probably 20, if 21, I don't even think so. And they said that they ain't getting old and 50 was going to be their limit. So I don't know what they're gonna. I was like, well, what are you gonna do to stop it? Like, well, let me sell you some life insurance since 50's gonna be your limit. Like,
right?
you gonna just stop living? Like, what?
I'm like, nobody knows when something's going to happen. I mean, the obituaries are full of that. So
Crazy.
don't tell me it's an older person's thing to do.
No.
Uh, all right. Was anybody else have any other questions? If not, we are at 5:39. I gotta farewell the staff, see if they have any questions before they leave. Candace, you
No,
good?
I'm good. Yeah, I did I did all my social media posting for May. I mean, I like planned it, and I did like now I realize I probably should hyperlink my website because I put my logo on my website on everything. So I should probably hyperlink it because it's all social media stuff and they can go to my website. So
Well, remember
thanks.
if it's an actual still image, if it's not a live thing like a landing page or a website and it's a still image like this thing is, because technically it's
Does it have to be an image? It can't just be my website, like a hyperlinked
yeah,
that way?
on a website or a landing page you can do it that way, but like how this shows that it's a postcard up top, you're gonna do better with a Q code than a click here link, because it's got to be live for them to click it. Gotta remember that.
Well, if it's posting on social media, isn't it live? Or is it just an image?
It's just an image unless it's a landing page.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You can still post landing pages on there
You
or
can
a
post a
link to.
landing page on Facebook.
Yeah, it limits the size on it. So usually what we will do is we will do like a short little attention grabbing thing that says, hey, do you know what the red, white, and blue card is? Everyone should know by 65. And then of course, people that don't are like, oh, wait a minute, no. And it says, go to this, scan this or go to this. And they'll scan the Q code and it takes them to the landing page. And the landing page has all the information on it. And then it says, want to know more? It shoots them back to our website. Everything we have, we try to direct back to our website, because the more you direct through your website, the more your SEO goes. So that's I mean, that's a good thing, Candace, that you put your website on everything. I'm getting there about having it on everything. For a while there, I wasn't putting our website on everything. I was putting the phone number. But yeah, the main goal is to direct traffic through your website for everything.
So then what do you think would be better to put like the website link in the text part of the post or just have it on the image? Because everything I did, except for maybe a couple, are just still images. Or it's a picture with the post.
Usually, like in our little groups here in Stephenville on Facebook, I will put the link to the website, but then I'll have the
Okay.
Q code in the image. Just because if someone's
Gotcha.
looking at it on their phone and they click the link because they're on their phone and they
Mm-hmm.
go, oh, cool, this would be cool. I have, Sally sitting next to me. Hey, you need this. Well, they can't click the link because they're not on my phone, but they can scan the code and it takes them there too.
That's a good point. Okay.
Yeah, that way you could get referrals
How did
either
you get
way
that
because they,
circle around your web and around that QR code?
it's in the QR thing in here.
Oh, okay. It's just under the advanced settings. Mine are
Yeah,
usually square.
it usually gives you a choice of square or, helps me spell
I
right.
thought it gave colors, but I know you could do a shape. That's cool.
There's a square one. Because see, that's the QR code, a regular basic QR code. The other one is flow code. It'll make it a circle.
Oh, okay. You used a different app for it. Got you.
Yeah. Yeah. The QR codes are squares. The
Flow.
flow codes are the circles. And flow codes, the reason I like flow codes is because if you look at this, I don't know if you saw when I was doing it, like scan destination, pick what it is it an email, is it a text, is it a website, whatever. Put the code in, you pick the color of it, you pick the pattern of it, but you can choose your logo to go right there in the middle.
Oh, wow. Is that under
And it,
apps?
uh-huh, it's under apps on Canva. But
Okay,
yeah, like
gotcha.
I can put the cannonball right there in the middle of it and it doesn't affect being scanned at all.
Now the flow code, Melissa, I know how to do that, but on Canva, does it work the same? Like, will it give you multiple flow codes, or do you reach a limit and then you have to go pay for whatever service?
If it does, I haven't reached you.
Okay, so if you're in Canva, it may not reach a limit.
It says sign up and add to design. So maybe you have to sign up for flow code QR.
Yeah, I did have to sign up for it.
Okay, that's what I was asking, because I thought so, because I had to sign up for it to be able to put my logo and change I mean, like, to
Mhm.
do that, and then so I could get a certain number,
Yeah, well,
but
so
to
far I
design
haven't,
it.
yeah, I
Gotcha.
haven't hit that number yet, so I don't know what that magic number is yet.
So you're saying do both, do the QR code on the image and do the link in the text.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Just because, if it's somebody, especially like if you're doing a seminar or something like that, um, and the person next to them, they pull it up on their phone, well, this one doesn't
Yeah.
have it, so it's just easier to share that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, my posting that I do, like I schedule it out, it's a theme each day of the week. So it's not all
Mhm.
Medicare related. Oh, sorry. My dog is gonna bark. Um, so it's not necessarily Medicare related, but I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because my website's on there.
Yeah. Well, I always encourage y'all not to do constant insurance stuff. People get bored with it. They quit listening after a while. They're like, yeah, we know you do insurance. So you do informational stuff. I'm on a
Something
gardening
fun for
kick.
Thursdays. I did Throwback Thursdays,
Yeah.
and everything is like 1960s themed. The image, and I made it in Canva. It was really fun to do.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. But
Oh yeah, I'll
yeah,
go back.
we're like, we're on a gardening thing right now. I usually do the gardening and then I will do, of course, every month has 2 or 3 different cancer awareness type deals. So I usually do that too. I'll do a couple of posts on, I think
I'm
this month is testicular cancer and esophageal, I think.
I like how you picked that because obviously your colors are gold and black, and I guess it's a yellow orangish color. I don't know what you'd call it, like an amber. Like I'm having trouble finding green and black and white backgrounds. So I've just been searching and searching, you know. So I'll eventually find something.
Backgrounds for what?
Well, just pictures, just uh um I don't know. I'll find it. When I find it, I'll send it to you.
I was
Just
gonna say
like,
if it's just remember anything too, you can change.
yeah, that's true. But like you'll have like the sunset ones, that you do they have the colors of the logos and stuff. Um, but just
You can type
not,
it.
yeah, not backgrounds, but just like pictures. So,
Yeah, well, just remember if you want it to kind of mesh, like obviously purple, but if you want to change like their shirt colors to your colors, then you just go back over to the edit in the magic stuff.
gotcha. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, the magic edit.
Uh-huh.
Like I can take her t-shirt basically, it might look bad because I just put change shirt color.
That magic's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, now I just go back to some of Rebecca's old photos and just change the outfit. Yeah, if I would have just colored it in a little better, then changed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's how you can make images that you like that aren't exactly the exact color you want them to. Just go to magic edit and change the color to what you.
Well, thanks for all the info. I'm gonna jump off, but I appreciate sharing all the information. It
No
helps.
problem. Like I said, if you have any other questions or anything, just hit me up. Gina, Carrie, it's going to be info@kbisolutionsllc.com. I realize that Rebecca preaches the marketing, but you will find that I forget about it because it's down in my boxes and I might find it in a month. But my info one, I check like 10 times a day. So you're better off hitting me with the info one. But yeah, if you guys have any problems, any projects you need help with, anything like that, just give me a holler.
Thanks, girl. I appreciate it. Y'all have
No
a good week.
problem. You too.
Bye.
Bye.